Yes, finally we have received some good news that I myself am excited for. Finally, Zion Williamson is coming back to play for New Orleans, but guys, I'm just gonna be honest here. In fact, I'm just gonna do it. I'll say what no one seems to be saying because everyone is so happy. I am questioning Zion's intentions with his return, or more importantly, the intentions of his stepfather. Because I do want to make this clear right now, I have always been a fan of Zion Williamson until this season. When Zion was in high school, I called him an NBA star in a video just watching him play. In another video, I've talked about how Ja and Zion had an unreal AAU team, and then when Zion lost weight, I said future NBA MVP in the title, and I stand by that. If Zion is at his best, I mean, he is that good. I've always liked Zion, and I've been a fan of his since high school, and I still am. I am so happy for New Orleans. I think that city deserves a great NBA team at this point, and I cannot wait to see Zion get back on the court and keep dominating. I want to believe Zion is committed there long term. I want to believe that that is what Zion is doing, but the thing is, everything that is going on behind the scenes says that there is something very strange going on here. The problem is, oftentimes a player can be heavily influenced by their family, such as Kawhi Leonard and his uncle Dennis. So I do trust Zion, but what is going on with Zion's stepfather, and what is going on behind the scenes with big markets like the Los Angeles Lakers, and probably the most important one here, the New York Knicks? Ethan Strauss, a writer who I heavily suggest checking out. He'll be referenced a few times in this video. He is great. Go check him out. But he wrote about 200 days ago, sports corruption still has an impact on coverage, and I dislike how much of the game behind the game is shielded from readers. So what's up, guys? Mike here, and good news for us, we are not readers. We are watchers here, and I'm telling you right now, my goal here is to shield nothing. I want us both to know everything. So yes, Zion is back, and for right now, everyone is happy. How couldn't they be? Zion has been spotted at church in New Orleans. He's taking pictures with fans. He is committing himself to the team. And again, I trust Zion here. I don't think in any way Zion himself is acting fake. I think he is just a good person and putting himself back into the community. The problem is there could be an ulterior motive here, and again, it's not really based on Zion. I think that Zion's stepfather, along with the rest of his team, may be pulling something in order to get Zion to New York or a big market like the Lakers, and the proof is right here in front of us. I keep coming back to lines like this from Strauss, who said, "Creative Artists Agency, CAA, the agency that represents Zion, happens to represent key media personalities at ESPN, which was by design and accomplished with the subtlety and tact of the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. When you combine that nugget with knowledge of CAA's influence over the New York Knicks, GM Leon Rose is a former CAA super agent. Tibbs is a CAA client. ESPN's reports of Zion, a CAA client himself, having an interest in joining the Knicks gets put in a different light. You're not supposed to know that ESPN wants this to happen because ESPN is CAA and CAA is ESPN, which means that CAA is the Knicks, meaning that the Knicks are ESPN. All by design. You are not meant to know when a reporter and a player he's reporting on work for the same agency." Strauss's words, not mine, but he is for sure a very credible source on all of this, no doubt about it. But before we continue, guys, I am very excited to thank Geology for sponsoring today's video, because I'm gonna be honest right now, I personally needed the skincare routine that Geology sent over. Now, if you are a guy, let's be honest, you, like me, probably do not have your own skincare routine, but it is very important. I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to keep this face going as long as possible, and so in order to do that, I want to show you what Geology sent me. So first up, we do have the Everyday Face Wash. This is something I already put on this morning. It's something that gets my day going, combined with my Vital Morning Face Cream. These two immediately start my day off right, and then at night, I have the Repairing Night Cream, and then this is very important to me, guys. I don't know about you, but I always get bags under my eyes no matter how much I sleep, and so this Nourishing Eye Cream to me is absolutely key. I will tell you right now, after a week plus of using it, I have already already seen a noticeable difference. And the best thing about Geology is that this is just all for me. Geology personalizes everything for your skin type. The only thing you have to do is start with a 30-second diagnostics quiz. Here's the quiz right in front of you. For example, under what results would you like to see? I hit a bunch here. I said sun and UV protection, smoother or softer skin, of course. I mean, who doesn't want that? And I had a bad acne problem when I was growing up, so reduced blemishes or discoloration, because, you know, those things still pop up from time to time. And the thing about all of the products that I just showed you, they all work very well together, which is why right now you can get your own 5-piece trial set, which is valued at $50, but you can get 50% off by clicking the link in the description. Also, guys, you can head over to geology.com right now to get 50% off your 30-day trial set, or again, just click the link below in the description. That is 50% off your first 30-day trial set. I mean, again, I've been using these products, guys. Make sure to check out Geology. And now let's get back to the video. Personally, with this in mind, I also come back to one simple thing. Yes, Zion is in New Orleans now. Yes, he looks happy and friendly. I want to believe it, but if this was really the end goal here, if the end goal was for Zion just to return back to New Orleans, why didn't he just do something as simple when all of this speculation was going on as pick up his phone and tweet out, "Let's go New Orleans. We have a bright future," or anything like that. Instead, Zion did not just pick up his phone and solve all of his problems. He let this mystery surround him for almost an entire season. And I think, again, his silence here spoke more than any words he put out ever could have. And I emphasize could have because where are those words? So with everything I'm about to lay out in terms of a timeline here, as you're about to see, I think that there are really 3 options on what is going on with Zion Williamson. The first is that Zion has had some kind of mental health issue, which if that is the case, I will literally take this video down because of how much mental health means to me. I just haven't seen that mentioned here. I've Googled it, I've researched it. I have not seen it. So again, if that is the case, this video will be taken down. It's that simple. However, the other 2 options are much worse for the NBA in general. The first being that Zion was much more hurt than he let on, and that the Pelicans were seriously worried that he would join Greg Oden as a former #1 pick who was too injured to have a real career. That option would not be that bad if Zion does end up having a healthy career. Option number 2 is much worse. It is simply Zion never wanted to play in New Orleans, and he still does not. He sat out most of this season and now is coming back to show the world that he is still dominant and he is still valuable to trade for, which would mean people like his stepfather and the rest of his team are behind the scenes pulling the strings so that Zion can land somewhere like New York or Los Angeles. Which means, again, just like with the LeBron video I just did, we are going to look at a timeline of Zion events related to all of this so we can decide for ourselves what is up here. Which means we are going to start out with the Zion injury angle here, at least partially, because yes, Zion did suffer a mild knee sprain here, and that cannot be forgotten, as we will see that as we go through this timeline. If all the injury reports are true, Zion has a frightening injury history for a player his age. So keep that in mind, but also keep in mind that people were enraged that Zion, who could not legally be paid by Duke, was hurt in something that looked like it could have been a career-threatening injury. And at this point in time, Zion had not made any money off of his basketball abilities while playing in the NCAA, at least legally. So here we are already presented with 2 paths we could really go down, and this could be the start of Zion's major injury concerns, or it could be the start of people like Zion's stepdad realizing that Zion needs to make as much money as he can while that money is still in front of him and guaranteed, because something as crazy as a blown shoe could ruin everything. The thing is, though, becoming the face of the New York Knicks would bring in a decent amount of money, I'd say. And on March 21st, Zion was asked about playing for the Knicks leading up to the NBA draft lottery and said it would probably be incredible. This is the Garden. A lot of greats have come through here. My favorite great to come through here was Bernard King. My stepdad talked about him a lot, how he just put the ball in the basket. I had to go watch his highlights. He was incredible how he did it. Notice the stepdad reference already. And the Knicks thing wouldn't really be a big deal, except for that on May 14th, during the actual draft lottery, according to Mark Spears, Zion Williamson was quickly whisked out of the room after Pelicans were announced the winner of the draft lottery. Sources said the former Duke star was rooting to go to New York, but now is going to New Orleans. Interesting. which of course did lead to the New Orleans Pelicans drafting Zion. But here is another point in the injury concern column, I would say, as Zion would play in just 9 minutes in his only summer league game before he was shut down with a knee problem, something Coach K would later say happened because Zion was not in the right playing or mental shape after the circuit of awards he was on last season. By the way, guys, if you are still here and you are enjoying this video, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and turn on post notifications. I make basketball and NBA videos exactly like this. I deep dive, I do the research, I try to make sure that you guys have the best video in front of you. So if you could subscribe, the goal here is to get to 2 million subscribers. It would be amazing if you subscribed, turn on post notifications if you enjoy this content, because if you do, you'll be getting a lot more. And for now, guys, back to the video. Now, that might sound a little strange, but just wait 1 second. Also, an insane side note here. This is a summer league game and it got 15 million views on YouTube. And Zion didn't even play the whole game. Insane. So it turns out this injury in the summer league would prove to be serious, as on October 21st of 2019, the Pelicans did announce that Zion had surgery to repair his torn meniscus. So there were, and of course are, real injury concerns here. Only on top of those injury concerns, on top of them, Christian Clark of NOLA.com said this: throughout his rookie season, Williamson has grown increasingly frustrated with the Pelicans for the number of hoops they required him to jump through to return from the knee injury he suffered in the preseason. The team initially provided a return to play timetable of 6 to 8 weeks, but it took more than 3 months for Williamson to get back on the floor. When he was finally given the thumbs up to play, he was placed on burst limits, which he detested. The way Williamson's return was handled caused significant tension between him and the team's medical staff. So before Zion Williamson ever took the court for the New Orleans Pelicans, he had already developed significant tension between him and the team's medical staff. That is definitely interesting information, but Zion would of course make his debut with the Pelicans on January 22nd. And then fast forwarding from there, we had the bubble where we have more controversy because Zion officially left the bubble to deal with an urgent family matter. I don't really want to go too deep into this because if it was an urgent family matter, then I would feel extremely uncomfortable and horrible about being wrong. But the rumor and speculation here is that Zion's team asked the Pelicans to say this while Zion himself was rehabbing from a hamstring injury, one that he apparently suffered from coming back in not good enough shape when he returned to the bubble. Again, not going to comment any further. This is a giant rumor that is out there, but it is also a rumor. A rumor I will comment on came when Zion said this to JJ Redick.
You told me that you actually considered coming back for your sophomore year. How many days did you say to yourself, hey, I might go back?
It was like the deadline. I think at the deadline when he had to declare it.
Look at JJ's response. Just strange. Zion, the guaranteed #1 pick in the draft, almost passed up on the draft because he loved college that much? I mean, maybe, but with all this stuff adding up, really? I mean, let's just be honest here. During this season, it really did not seem like Zion had his heart in New Orleans, as on January 13th, during a close game, Zion fell asleep on the bench. Meanwhile, though, in this timeline, we do have the New York Knicks. Did you forget about them? Well, just a few weeks after Zion's nap, the Knicks were not sleeping, and they hired former CAA power agent Leon Rose as their new team president. The Knicks and their connection to CAA are nothing new. You heard what Strauss said in the beginning of this video, and also back in 2014, Chris Broussard reported this when asking other Knicks players who were not represented by CAA what privileges guys who were represented by CAA got. Quote, "You see how guys from CAA are treated differently, how they get away with saying certain things to coaches, how coaches talk to them differently than they talk to other guys. It's a problem." Again, this was back in 2014, and it was not a problem to the Knicks, who on July 30th of 2020 signed CAA rep Thomas Thibodeau as their head coach. And at this point, the names are adding up. Let's just try something. Maybe if we, I don't know, right now, Google creative artist agency MBA clients, then click the very first link provided, you may see a very familiar face on the front of your screen. Results earn respect. Nice. Anyway, back in New Orleans, Zion's career could not have gotten off any better, to be honest. In just his second season, he was named a first-time All-Star, and he was even given the chance to be an All-Star starter after Joel Embiid was injured. Zion then had his first signature shoe released by Jordan Brand, the Zion 1s, which coincidentally blew up themselves at one point. But we are not going to focus on the shoe here. We are going to focus on the New Orleans Pelicans, where after Zion missed the beginning of the bubble, after the Pelicans missed the play-in game, Zion was not happy whatsoever. Now, I understand why he wasn't happy. I mean, the man averaged almost 29 points and 8 rebounds a night during the bubble, but I just feel like his words don't make much sense here. I mean, keep in mind, the Pelicans were not some absolutely horrible team. They already did and still have another all-star level talent in Brandon Ingram. Regardless, after the season, Zion said, quote, "My stepfather taught me doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is kind of insane. It was very disappointing not to make the playoffs. I'm not going to sit here and say we're close." Keep in mind, the Pelicans finished 11th that season. Zion is now gladly returning to the team with them slotted in as 10th. If 10 is not close to 11, I don't know what is close to 11. I feel like I'm at the start of a lame math joke, so we're just gonna keep going on here, which leads us to current day, this season, where I feel like a lot has already been covered here. First, we had Zion's mysterious foot injury that was announced on September 27th, and at that time, it was said that Zion should be ready for the regular season opener. But then came the internet going insane over Zion's new weight, and now there was suddenly no timetable for Zion's return. Zion would go viral just warming up with his new weight, and during this time around December, it was reported that Zion had been skipping rehabs and practices that were vital to his recovery. Keep that in mind, because moving forward, on December 16th, Zion did have an injection to promote healing in his foot, and it was announced that he would be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks, which would mean the reevaluation would take place first week of February at the latest. So to me, it actually makes perfect sense that Zion would go to Oregon. Yes, he was with his own personal trainer, but players do have their own trainers that they train with. I will say though that the combination of him playing in the same state that Nike's headquarters are located in, with no one from New Orleans seemingly knowing what was happening there, is still more than weird. I mean, I get the one side of the argument. I get that after all the weight stuff, it didn't make sense to keep Zion around the team because he was just going to keep getting roasted on social media. But no matter what you think, CJ McCollum saying this:
Zion, have you had a chance to talk to Zion?
I haven't had conversations with him directly. I don't really, I know about as much as you do right now, but
really?
And really, did he just say he knows as much as us? I mean, people harped on that CJ himself didn't know what was going on, and it was a big deal made that Zion should call CJ. But let's think even further here. CJ at this point in time had been in the locker room with Zion's teammates for days. They never talked about any of this? This would obviously be the first thing they would talk about. I don't understand how this is possible, and I don't think at all that CJ would make such a big claim without it being true, because there would just be way too much backlash. Also, CJ just does not seem like that kind of guy at all. But somehow, 2 days later, after hearing nothing for a long time, Zion had another round of medical imaging and now is suddenly about ready to take the court for New Orleans. Then we have February 21st, 2022, where I will just say it, the internet caught on fire when the following email was sent out about New Orleans Pelicans season ticket renewals. As you can see right here, we have led by new head coach Willie Green and players Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, and CJ McCollum, no Zion. So is this a coincidence? Maybe, but I mean, these things are just adding up. So I will say, I am just very doubtful about this whole situation. The reason being that there is a lot of seeds of doubt that I have found in the past that have led me to have my current mindset. But if you do believe in the injury angle, I mean, there is plenty of evidence there as well. It really is how you look at this situation. I will say though, until Zion Williamson both signs a contract extension with New Orleans and then Ben Simmons actually plays games under that contract extension with New Orleans, I am gonna have doubts here. And so there it is. Everything is laid out in front of you. You can decide what you think from here, and I'd love to see what you guys do think in the comments. I'm a New Jersey and New York guy. Zion playing at MSG would be awesome, but also I just want New Orleans fans to be happy too, man. They have watched as Chris Paul left. They watched as Anthony Davis left. I mean, that has nothing to do with the fans. You can blame the front office all you want, but the fans still had to suffer through that. And so while for me personally, yes, it would be cool to watch Zion play in MSG, it would be a lot cooler for me as an NBA fan to watch the New Orleans Pelicans finally get their guy. The problem is there are just simply too many past things for me to forget about. I do really hope things end up working out well for everyone involved. Even if Zion does end up getting traded, at least hopefully New Orleans gets an awesome package back. I mean, they really are building a very solid team there. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As I said before, if you could subscribe and turn on post notifications, that would be awesome. I make NBA videos exactly like this. I deep dive into every situation. This is the kind of basketball content you could expect. So if you are interested in it, if you like it, it would be so awesome if you could subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. I mean, personally, I think the one on the left might be more your style, but the one on the right looks pretty awesome too. Click one, let me know what you think. And again, have an awesome day.